Well, I'm so excited to bring to you my friend, the soon to be. In fact, I'll just start calling her Dr. Shepherd, Dr. Shandaleia Shepherd. She is now, yeah, you are now a PhD candidate, yes?
Mhm. I am.
Yes. Once you complete the stage of comprehensive exams, I still remember comp exams, my eye still twitches. So you just completed comp exams maybe 2 months
3 weeks.
ago?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
fresh off of
Fresh
the
off.
comp trail. Yeah.
Yes. So when I started, Chandaleia and I started, Dr. soon to be Dr. Shepherd, started the doctoral program in 2019 together. In fact, we were part of a scholar tribe. And as I told you, it was like I'm the first person in our cohort to graduate, and number two and number three in our cohort are also from my tribe. Shandaleia is from our tribe as well, but it had to take a quick pause for a bit. So she was delayed, but got right back in. So this is a personal um, sort of joy to be able to share this space with you. So here's what you need to know about Dr. Shepherd is that she's an experienced human resource leader with a demonstrated history of working in the textiles industry. So far we've been looking at industry, but we've looked so far at the automotive industry. I've talked a little bit about the food industry, but certainly she has a unique perspective because manufacturing settings are some pretty interesting perspectives or pretty interesting places from which to examine or think about human resources as a global field. She's skilled in employee relations, office management, team building, event planning, management, employee training. She's, as you know, currently pursuing her doctorate in business psychology. She's concentrating in IO psychology and consulting. And she also happens to be the chapter president of SHRM in Atlanta. And last year, I think it was, last
Mhm.
year I came and I was a guest speaker for her association. And so having said all that, I'm so happy that you're here. Dr. Shepherd, they are your students.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. McNeil. It feels almost surreal to be at the end of this PhD journey, but certainly it's the beginning of a new journey. And it's a wonderful thing to, again, have the backing of a true tribe. Certainly Dr. McNeil and I started off as colleagues, and, over the last 5 years, it's hard to believe it's been that long. We've developed just the best friendship. So it is my joy, my pleasure to be here and to return the favor, to speak to you wonderful folks about the work that I really, really love, and just give some greater context to what we do in the human resource space. So I will share my screen and we will get started. Of course, from an HR perspective, I think sometimes there are those misconceptions, because people hear HR and they either think the police or they are the people that hire and fire. And whereas those, responsibilities do fall within our scope of practice, it's so much broader than that, and it can be so much more beautiful than that, when we think about trying to move business forward, trying to support the people that run our businesses as well. So, title of our presentation is Building Tomorrow's Team, Strategic Personnel Planning and Recruitment. I heard a lot of really good things. Jessica, you mentioned that there are so many different elements that kind of fit together like puzzle pieces. And you will absolutely see that, kind of threaded in through here. You see the puzzle pieces. I'm just going to scoot everybody to the left here or minimize this just so you can kind of see. But the puzzle pieces that HR is responsible for, really is the fabric. And I say that in jest coming from the textiles industry, but it's the fabric of our organizations. It's what helps us to move forward. It informs our decision making about capital investments. Where do we build our new plans? But also, what do we need to look for in terms of the next cohort of new hires that come in and the training needs, all of the different things. And we'll kind of dive into some of those things as well. Callista, you mentioned recruitment. That is a huge part of the job. We'll talk about what really recruitment means because it's not just bringing in new people, it's retaining, it's engagement, it's training, it's all of those things. And then certainly, Gore, you mentioned the global HR perspective. I say all the time, world-class HR is what we should all push for. As the world becomes more global, and we become more globalized, that is going to be, at the forefront of the evolution of HR. One other piece that I'll say about the history of HR as well. I don't know if you guys are, I may be showing my age a little bit here, but if you are familiar with HR being called personnel, personnel back in the day, they, took care of pay and they, again, the hire and the fire. But now we're really moving more toward being HR business partners. We are being the human resource partners to the business. And that balance, can be challenging to achieve. But again, that's why we go to school for what we go to school for. It's how we build our capability so we can make that happen. So, our agenda will go through personnel planning. We'll look at a couple of case studies, and then we'll talk about some widely accepted theories and models that we use, also tools for success that